Hi Leo, this is your April 2015 horoscope with me, Lada from astrolada.com, where I have my birth chart calculator where you can check what your ascendant and moon signs are. Everyone knows their sun sign. If you're born in August or part of July, you're probably Leo. But make sure that you also check your ascendant sign at least, because it gives you another layer. Because not all Leos will go through the same thing, you know. What differentiates one Leo from another is that they have a different moon sign or different ascendant sign. So one Leo can have an ascendant in Virgo, for example, and when you listen to the prediction for Virgo as well, you get an extra layer of what's possible to happen, and it will be different from the Leo who has ascendant in Gemini, that they'll have a different layer of experiences. But you need to know your time of birth to know your ascendant. Anyway, what is happening for Leos in April? If your ascendant's on the moon. Well, first of all, there is an eclipse and in the first week of April, and it does not directly affect Leos, but it falls in their third house. So it will trigger a certain area of your life. Might not be so strong, but you can still feel it. And it's a lunar eclipse. A lunar eclipse is felt a month before, so some Leos might be feeling it already now in March, and you might feel it the whole of April as well. But an eclipse is about changes, about having to let go of something from that is outdated, because the eclipse is a lunar eclipse. The moon is, basically the moon is getting eclipsed, and the moon is old habits. The moon is something that we keep doing by heart, something that we don't have to think about, something that is the past, you know, and that we're attached to emotionally. And when it gets eclipsed, we can get detached from these old things, and we can start, you know, we can clean up basically in that area. And it can be a painful process because the ego is attached to those things. And when we are detaching from them emotionally, it can be through some crisis. In order for us to detach from those things, there can be some crisis that happens to make us realize that we're doing things wrong there. And in regards to Leo, it happens in the third house, this eclipse. And third house is, first of all, our thinking patterns, our way of communicating with others. So let me give you a few examples. If you're maybe too assertive, something can happen now, maybe in March and in April, that gives you a different perspective, and that you realize that this is an outdated mode of how I'm communicating my ideas to others. Maybe I should approach, maybe I should start communicating with my partner or with my certain person in your life. It might be one specific person, or generally about communications in more gentle way, and my message will be accepted more easily. Or it's the opposite. Maybe you've been too timid in your communications. Maybe you couldn't speak up your truth, and something happens to rebalance your communications, to help you detach from the old way of expressing your ideas and to put them up in a more productive, more effective ways to others. So it's a process of about a couple of months that you adjust how you express yourself verbally, and some of you, you know, how you express your communications as well, how some of your relationships with siblings can be, because third house rules siblings, so there can be a change happening between you, especially if your ascendant is in Leo, you might feel it more strongly. With you and your siblings, there might be some crisis that happens there that gives you indication, okay, this is not the right way I've been proceeding in those relationships with siblings. I have to change something now and let go of the past behaviors. Third house rules associates, teammates, playmates, co-workers, colleagues, people that you work in association with in a team, for example. Most often these are colleagues, you know, people in your everyday environment. There might be some crisis that happens there that calls you to basically have a change of attitude, a change of treating, a change of communicating, a change of the dynamic of the relationship, and you leave something unnecessary behind. But again, there's always a bit of fear, a bit of, you know, the ego doesn't want to make this change, and there's fear, but it's ultimately for liberation. And the eclipse of the moon gives you a higher perspective, because the moon is eclipsed from the sun in your ninth house. The ninth house rules a higher, bigger vision perspective. So the sun, it will give you an ability to see at those situations, and especially situations also with third house rules competitors. And you know, colleagues are our competitors as well, aren't they? We're competing with them for better positions. Siblings have always been our competitors as well. We compete for the attention of our parents, for the approval, you know, and that's why third house rules all kind of competitors that we have in our life that we're competing with. And you might have a realization, illumination that you have to approach this kind of competitive relationships in a different way. And you might release some painful attitudes towards those competitors that were making you tight or too tense or too aggravated every time you saw someone doing better than you in a certain way. And you might release those outdated emotions and attachments in that area and make you feel more freer, more not so much, you know, obsessed by the competition in a sense. Third house also rules the technique that we have about doing something. It's a very technical, skill-oriented house. So you might have an illumination that you need to change your technique. If you're a painter, you might decide that all of a sudden you've been using certain paint brushes, or now you have to start using different colors or you have to change your technique. There might be a big reconstructuring and changing of your technique, or if you're doing pottery, or if you're I don't know, you might be making clothes, you know, and you start learning a new technique, or you realize that the technique you're using needs some readjustment, some corrections in some way. Or maybe you have your own business, or you're someone who say does conference calls, or someone who does third house rules media, promotions, communications with others. You might realize that there is a better way, more effective way of promoting yourself rather than sending individually emails. You might realize that's an outdated mode of reaching out to people and connected with them. I'll do it by a group email, or I'll do it by, you know, or I'll do advertising or media promotions in a different way. It's all those things, you know. People who work in any areas, Leos, who work in any areas which are connected with communications, with media, with information, with teachings, with skills, with writing, they can have again some completion of such project, because the full moon, which is also an eclipse, it's about completing things, coming to an end, completing something you've been doing for the past few months or year, you know, can be like a completion as well. So it doesn't have to be something painful or stressful either. Okay, so that's on one level. There is another strong activation for Leos, and it's happening exactly in your sign, Leos. Jupiter is in your sign, and it's becoming stationary. And when a planet becomes stationary, it means it's going to be changing your movements. Till now it was moving backwards in your sign. And all of a sudden it stops. It looks like for almost a month it's not moving. It's staying on the same place, and it's happening in April. And then it starts moving forwards again. And this is when a planet becomes 5 times stronger. So everything in this sign starts resonating 5 times strongly. And this is your sign. This is you, Leos. And at the same time, it's really strongly activated, Leo, by its own ruler, by the sun aspecting it, and by Mercury, the planet of manifestation. So the 3 important planets, there is an ancient rule. If the sun, if Mercury, Jupiter, and the Lord of that sign aspect it, people start manifesting from that sign, which means Leos will be manifesting very strongly in April. I would say till the middle of April in particular, very strongly supportive energy for Leo, amazingly strongly. So what does it mean? Leo, it's you. So first house is, first of all, physical health. Some of you might, their physical health, if you've been having some physical health problems, can improve in a big way. You might find a good doctor, you might find a good physical exercise regime that helps you better. It just, vitality comes to you, energy comes to you. You're reawakened, your senses are reawakened, the sun supports you, Jupiter supports you, Mercury supports you, and you start initiating. It's a great month for Leos to do new things, to initiate new things, especially till the middle of April. Don't miss that chance. First house is new beginnings. It's you, Leo. So any new plans, any new ideas that you have, get down on them. Not only that, you have the opportunity to make those happen. A first house is also confidence. Confidence levels will start increasing. Optimism will start increasing. Faith will start increasing. You start having a higher perspective. Planets are helping you from the ninth house of belief, of optimism, of seeing things from a bigger perspective, from a bird's view, seeing how the puzzle is fitting in together. So I really like this month for Leos. For the majority of Leos, you know, it can never be for everyone perfect, but even for the ones that are having some problems in their life, they feel like a new lease of life, a fresh encouragement, optimism, faith. You might have people that come to support you, good mentors, good advice that comes to you. Open yourself for it and welcome it, because you'll get a bigger perspective that helps you see the world in a different way, helps you see your situations, you know, helps you see the forest from the trees. If till now you're seeing just the trees and seeing the blockages, now you pull out and you see, wow, it's a big forest, you know, and you can orient which direction to go into. This is exactly how you're going to feel, Leos. You're going to feel like, okay, now I was down where the trees are. I was lost on the path. Now I can see above, and this is the way. That's where I'm heading. So some of you will have certain illuminations, certain aha moments of the path they're supposed to take. And it's a good idea to start making the first steps now. You'll be supported in that direction in April. But just having the higher perspective will put things, you know, in perspective for you, make you feel much better. It's a good time for travel as well. Communications with foreigners and foreign people can be very supportive to you, or with mentors and father figures. Someone can come, whether it's your boss or a person with more experience than you, that gives you good advice, that is like a teacher to you, shows you the way and makes some progress, helps you make some progress. So very happening month in a positive way. For you, Leos. I would advise that around the 4th of April, maybe the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, be careful of starting new things, because this is when the eclipse is, and usually the energy 3 days around the eclipse are unsettled, but the rest of the month is pretty supportive, especially the 6th, the 7th, the 8th. You know, you can have some good positive developments in regards to your path in life, where you're heading, more confidence. You become more, the first house that is being triggered with Leo, you become more magnetic to others as well. You can manifest things. First house is making things happen. First house is the house of action. So manifestation becomes more easily, sometimes almost in a magical way. Certain projects that were blocked, certain wrong self-ideas or belief systems, they can be changed and you can start moving forward. So I really, really like the month for you. Sorry. Okay. And let's see. You have Mars is in Taurus, and that's your 10th house, Leos. Mars is in Taurus the whole month of April. And whatever Mars is, it energizes this house, gives you a lot of get up and go, energy, action, again, you know. Just like the first house, Mars has the similar energy. And it's in your 10th house of career. So it can be a very happening month as well for career for you. Not only inspiration and personal confidence, and because you're more, you know, especially till the middle of the month, you have more energy overall, more charisma, and when Mars is in your 10th house, you can push things through. And it's time to be proactive now in regards to your career. It's time to, if you don't have a job, go and look for it. You can make things happen, but you have to make the action, because Mars is the planet of action. Don't wait for others to do it for you or for it to fall on your lap. Or if you work in a company, if you're an employee, you have a chance to prove yourself and to be more assertive. But at the same time, 10th house rules authority figures, and Mars is a bit of a pushy, bullying energy. So some authority figures might be a little bit stepping on your toes and pushing you. There might be some conflict with authority figures, or if you're young, with a father figure. So be careful that you don't disturb the status quo there, but you have a unique chance now in this month of April. It happens only once every 2.5 years that Mars is in your 10th house, to make things moving, to fix out problems in regards to your career, to sort out problems, to progress further, and to take actions to improve your public image. And this is another interesting thing is the sun. Let's see what the sun is doing, because the sun is your planet. And on the 2nd of April, the sun receives a beautiful trine aspect from Jupiter. So basically the first couple of days of April and the last 2 days of March are very auspicious, and even the 3rd day increase your confidence, bring some opportunities to you. But make sure that you don't immediately act on them around the 4th when the eclipse is happening, 3rd and 4th, because the energy is a bit, unstable there. But something good can happen to you, Leos, around the 1st and the 2nd. Opportunities coming, doors opening. And then again around the 6th of April, maybe a day before that, a day after, a couple of days before, day after, the sun is joined with Uranus. So you're the sun, joins Uranus. And Uranus is sudden realization, sudden awakenings, seeing things from a different point of view, detaching from the past, being more truly yourself. But you can also be a bit too authentic, a bit too, if people are not used to seeing you being too truthful, you can be a bit too truthful as well. And you can do some extreme actions and go and tell someone the truth in the face, or go and get a sudden inspiration to do something. You have to be careful not to throw out the baby with the water, as they say. But this is a moment when you can be more truly yourself, and this is a moment also when certain relationship developments can happen, because Uranus rules your 7th house of relationship, and the sun is you, and the 2 planets join together in the sky. So certain developments of relationships are likely to happen around that time. Yes, so that's what I see about you, Leos. I'm not giving you specific days. I'm not giving you specific degrees this time, but definitely I quite like the month of April for you. And if anything stressful is happening in your horoscope, make sure, or in your life, make sure you check your ascendant and moon sign. Maybe the stress is coming from there. Thank you.